Speak to me very briefly as we round third about Carlos Sainz and his feats this season in that Williams. 2 podiums, Peter.
Yeah, I can't say any more than I've said already. Massive mistake for Ferrari to sack him and replace him because he was often doing a better job than Charles over a race weekend. He was right there. His driving was getting better all the time. Lovely guy. And Ferrari just got rid of him because they had to have Lewis. And I think that was a massive mistake. I still maintain that Charles, I think long term, it would be better for him to have gone to Sauber than to Williams because Sauber will very soon become Audi, and that's a great brand for Charles to take. For Carlos to take into the future for his life, his career post Formula One as well. And with Jonathan Wheatley there, they're not a bad team, and they'll get better all the time, I think. And so I think that's the only misgiving I have about that because, yeah, I mean, whatever car he was always going to look pretty good. The one thing that has surprised me actually is how much Alex Albon has fallen off under the pressure of Carlos Sainz and how many mistakes he's making now and how irrational and emotional he's getting on the radio too, which is very unlike the Alex Albon that we know and love. And he's lost a lot of that very calm, soft approach that he had. And you can see that it's the Carlos Sainz thing getting to him. And so that's a surprise, but all credit to Carlos Sainz for pulling that off because Alex Albon is not slow, and to beat him the way he has is very impressive. So yeah, I'm so pleased for him, for his dad, for the whole family. Wonderful. I just wish he was in a Sauber next year and had a better future really in terms of where he was going. But it's also, I don't know. If I was Ferrari, I'd just do the deal and get him back straight away, to be honest. But, I'm not, so I can't.
Peter, there's a reason why they call you Nostradamus. That you're not the first person to have said that. But that might be a conversation. It's like you saw the picture of Carlos Sainz Sr. having a chat with Frederick Vasseur. I think that might be an option that we might need revisiting. That might need revisiting even in the next 24 months' time.
Yeah, 24, I think, is a more realistic thing. And of course, in the same way that Ferrari didn't need Lewis Hamilton, they needed Adrian Newey, they needed a better car. In the same way now, they don't actually need Carlos Sainz. They just need a better car and a better engineering structure. So Carlos isn't going to fix things if he goes there. From his point of view, just as it was the same with Lewis's point of view, it would be great to go to Ferrari and from Carlos to go back to Ferrari. But that's actually not what Ferrari want. What they needed was Adrian Newey. They don't have Adrian Newey. Now they've got to make sure they do as good a job without Adrian Newey as Red Bull and McLaren are, and to some extent Mercedes are. And that's not easy because they're not doing it at the moment. So the building blocks on which they can rely over the winter are much smaller and more fragmented than those of McLaren, certainly Red Bull and Mercedes.
You mean to tell me, Peter, that you've got no faith in Loic Serra to do what Adrian Newey could have done?
No. No, I think he'll do. I think he's very talented, but Adrian is more than just an aerodynamicist. He's the complete car, and to some extent, almost the complete engine. Plus, he's a very good race engineer. Plus, he's a very good performance engineer. Plus, he's a very good deal maker. And plus, he has a gut feeling for motorsport that goes back to pit lanes in the 1980s. So how can anybody compete with that?
Yeah.
No, there's nobody on the planet Earth as talented as Adrian Newey or as experienced as Adrian Newey in doing a complete car. Yes, there are some very good aerodynamicists out there. Like my work is one of those for sure. Pete Prod obviously is as well. But could Pete Prod do an engine? And can he do a complete car? How is he on heave stiffness? I don't know. Maybe he's okay. But Adrian's great on everything. That's the point about Adrian. And I'm not sure everybody gets that.
Yeah. No, he knows a lot. Maybe designs Fernando a decent car next year, and
well, of course he will, and absolutely for sure it will be a good car. Take my word for it. The big problem next year will be what they'll be doing about Lance Stroll if he doesn't pick up his game and become he should be a couple of tenths behind Fernando everywhere, and if Fernando's capable of getting on the podium, Stroll should be top 6, and if Fernando's winning, Stroll should be top 3. That's how it should be. We don't expect too much of him, but that's quite a big ask. But if Adrian does produce a really good car and they run it well, which I'm sure they will, and running it well is super important in 2026 in terms of harvesting of the power, all the electronics that are coming into play, plus everything else, the active aero. All of that's really important, but they'll run it well. So, Lance should do okay. But if he doesn't, that's going to be the big diplomatic issue that Adrian has to deal with at Aston Martin. And I wouldn't wish that on anyone, really, having to pacify Lawrence Stroll.
Good luck, Adrian. You'll be all right.
In fact, he'll be all right, and he'll do a better job with the car probably than anybody else on the planet. Yeah. Not probably, for sure.
Just quickly on Adrian Newey, I saw them ask him a question on Sky Sports F1 about him taking the team principal role and fielding, doing like Toto and Christian have made industries of doing, which is answering the stupid question of the accredited F1 media. Does Adrian Newey have that in his locker, Peter? Because when he's answering those questions, already it appeared like his patience was wearing thin.
Yeah, I mean, Adrian's concept of being a team principal, I think, is not based on anything that he saw Christian doing or Ron doing or Toto Wolff does. I think it's based on logic, which is I'm the right guy to make the key decisions about the design and overall concept of the car, about liveries, about driver choice, how we work with Pirelli, all the key issues, and let him get on with designing the car. And in terms of getting someone to answer the stupid questions, I'll have somebody who does that. In terms of somebody who deals with the FIA, I'll have somebody who does that. And I know exactly the people I want. And in terms of somebody who has to deal with Honda, I know exactly the guy I want. And he'll be very good at delegating. Racing people are good at delegating because they've been around so long. They know all the good people in the pit lane, and they'll get them exactly how they want them. And the structure that Adrian creates will be completely different from any other so-called team principal, but it'll be a really good one, and it'll be probably quite spare and not too over the top. And it won't make him look like a king. It'll make him look like an efficient person who's doing the job and running a great race team. That's what Adrian's all about. And you see that in the way he runs his classic cars. It's not a lot of Adrian Newey in there, is it? It's it's a GT40 or it's a Lotus 49, and he's got absolutely the right touch when it comes to understanding motor racing and Formula One in particular. And he's very good with drivers too. Very good with drivers.